Hello viewers from wherever you're watching us from. You're watching QTV, the Gambia's first private TV station, and we are broadcasting live from our studios here on Kairaba Avenue. My name is Aliou Cisse, and it's now time for your weekly State of Affairs program. Well, this week I'm joined on the program by the new chairman of the Gambia's Independent Electoral Commission. Well, in the next 55 minutes, I will challenge him on his plans for the IEC, ongoing reforms, challenges, and of course, elections coming up next year. How far are we in terms of preparations and, of course, voter registration? Well, for men who are watching and have been very much involved in sports at Serekunda West, the new chairman is no face and it's not new to most of us. Mr. Joseph Colley, thank you so much for coming on the State of Affairs program. Once again, congratulations on the appointment.
Thank you very much, Mr. Cisse. I am happy to join you in this program.
And then before your appointment, many were questioning, wow, what is Mr. President waiting for to appoint? Oh, it could be Joe, it could be someone else. But finally, he took his time to appoint you. I know it's out of trust and confidence in you and your leadership that he chose to appoint you. But to start with, for many who are watching, like I said, from some of us who have been involved in sports for the past, over a decade at Serekunda West, we know you very well. But take us through, how did your journey with the IEC begin?
Thank you very much. Just like any other journey, I started by teaching at St. Teresa's Upper Basic School from 1996 to 2000. And briefly, I taught at Gaba Jahumpa.
Oh, you've been a teacher also?
Yes, I taught for 4 or 5 years. Yeah.
Okay.
And then, as any other young man, I saw this advertisement, like the IEC looking for electoral officers. Okay. I applied and I was shortlisted in 2001, that's around March, and I was called for an interview and then got appointed, and I started the appointment on the 2nd of May in 2001. Just after 2 weeks, I was appointed or transferred to Karawan, NBR. Yeah, okay. That's where I started.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in 2001, we had this general registration of voters. So I was there with then lead Mr. Imunjai. Okay. He was the commissioner in charge of the place, and of course, Mr. Suleiman Kinte, I think he now works for ActionAid. He was my immediate boss. He was the regional electoral officer. Actually, he and Mr. Njai trained me. And yes, so I was there as assistant regional electoral officer. Then barely 10 months, I just got a call, from then Mr. Cisse Kausu. Okay. You've been redeployed to the headquarters. IEC headquarters. Then we were at Kairaba. Yeah, so when I came, then I was asked to fill in the assistant communications officer. So I acted in that as acting, and then I was confirmed as assistant communications officer. Then a few years, my boss then, Mr. Said Yusuf, left for studies. To do his master's in the UK. Then I acted as acting director for almost a year or a year and a half. And then when he came back, I went back to my position, and then he was elevated to the position of principal electoral director. Then it's the same as the CEO now. Okay. Yeah. And then 2nd January, I was appointed because, of course, after an interview, intense one, Yes, then I was appointed the Director of Training, Communications and Public Affairs. That's 2nd January 2006. Okay. So I have been in this position up to 4th of March in 2021, when I was elevated to to a commission member, and then commission member and vice chairman, and then this year, June, July, we were appointed 28th. The appointment was 28th of June, but we got our appointment letters on the 8th of July. So And then 31st July, which happened to be my birthday, I was sworn in as chairman of the IEC. So almost barely, I spent 24 years, in the IEC.
And also on sports.
On sports. Yes.
Yeah. So,
yes.
so I mean, for many watching, many see electoral work as a highly sensitive, and political stuffs. I mean, but what actually motivated you to stay on the course?
Yeah, because you see, I see election, for me, it's not a job. For me, it's a vocation. It's a vocation because it's a drive. Because it's arbitrating, like so refereeing. So I see it, as I said, it's this passion, and then it's what I can do, because everybody is called to do something, for their nation or for their people. So for me, I think this is my calling to serve, the Gambian people in the electoral domain. Yeah, so that's that. So, and this I wish to do, to the best of my ability, and of course, with my conscience, Yeah, because conscience is key, because, those things you ought to do right, you have to do right, and you understand.
Especially given the controversy that have surrounded the office in the past elections.
So you ought to do things right,
And since your appointment and your subsequent swearing in, which was presided over by the president himself at the State House, take us through, your vision for the IEC.
You see, I have worked, under a lot of chairpersons, just if I can take you down memory lane, when I was, I think Uncle Gabi, in fact, appointed me. He was the chairman who signed my appointment, And then from Uncle Gabi Roberts, we had late Ndundinjai. And then from there, we had late Mustafa Kere. Yes, and then they just retired one.
Tom.
Yes. Aliu Momar Njai, so I've experienced, their leadership styles, and for me, I think how I want to approach, the elections is like, it has to be participatory, and inclusive. You see, because no one should be left behind. And then, of course, consultative in the sense that, from the commission down to the staff, and of course to the people. As I always say, election, we're managers, but it's actually the people, who own the process. Because, so if they own the process, or if they are to be part of the process, we have to give them, number one, ample information. Number two, where they are to be consulted, we consult, and then we carry them, we carry everybody, so that everybody will be involved, You see, because there are certain jurisdictions, it is such that, like I give an example like Ghana, sometimes you don't even need, maybe security or other, maybe observers, for people to know exactly what they're supposed to do. So, like we want an engagement wherein, the people will be very much aware of the process, how to vote, when to vote, and all those things. And then, of course, we will engage, the NCC also, so that they can let the people, and the civil society, and of course the media, so that they can let the people know exactly why they should vote. You understand? So that, we will not waste a lot of time, once it is election, people know why they should vote and how they should vote and where they should vote, so that we can spend our energy on other aspects of the process. You understand? Yes. So once people are very much aware and they know exactly, so you can divert, all your energies and resources on that aspect, and then maybe pump it somewhere else. Yeah.
As someone who have known you, like I said, for over a decade, that humility, being someone that is not very much obsessed with titles and all those things. How were you appointed? Did you apply, or did you express interest, or the president just said, I think you are the right person. Who approached you?
Well, I just take like from when I was appointed as commission member, like CVs, like CVs were sent. CVs were sent, and
by who?
They were sent through the office. And then about 3 or so or 4, and then yes, the process started there, and then I was called one day, and then like sometimes this is like so I had to.
I hope you got it.
I was in the office by 3. I got this call, and then I had to undergo certain like screening and the like. Because they had to do some background checks and things like that. Yeah, so the same with this one, submissions, and CVs were submitted, and then I think the lot fell on me, because I may not have been the most qualified also. I'm just giving an example. But the lot fell on me to steer the affairs of the commission at this particular time.
And so why do you think, or why should Gambians really trust you and your leadership at this critical moment when you look at the current political landscape of the country?
Yes, I think, as I said, you see, you're dealing with, it's a contest, an election is a contest. So if you're dealing with a contest, if you're dealing in, in a contest, you have to make sure people don't have, they don't have to assume, I think this is what they are doing, this is what they're doing, and this is what they're doing. So you just have to, we give timely updates, and then we consult where it is needed, and then we engage, we dialogue, and then we move. Because if you leave people in the dark, they start speculating, this is their next move. No, this is going to be their next move. Or no, this is what they are doing. So the silence is too much. People will start saying, what are they doing, and things like that. So, we have an open door policy, it's a public office, so we will make sure that, we serve the people as we ought to. So that is why, there are certain things that we sort of improving on. Yeah, I'm not saying we were not doing, but at least we improve on some of these things, because we've been conducting elections, people have been, both the media, the CSOs, and national, international organizations have been observing elections, and then they've been giving us, reports. So we look at some of these reports, and then we see, those things that we were not doing very well, we try to improve on. Like, for instance, structurally, we have 7 regions, but we know that some of the regions, are big. So what we have, what we have done, like for West Coast, we've decided to divide West Coast into 3. Okay. Now we have an office in Brikama. Now this office will serve Combo East. Will serve Brikama North and South, and then will also serve Combo South. Now, we also have an office in Olyundum, that's Yarambamba. Yeah, so that one will serve the then Combo North district. Now it is divided into 3 constituencies. We have Sani Mentoring, Olyundum, and Busumbala.
The powerhouse.
And Busumbala.
Would always come last in
Busumbala, yes. So, and then like the Funis, we have completed the refurbishment of an office in Sivanor.
So really?
Yes, so most likely in next month we will open up Sivanor. So Sivanor will take care of the Funis. So now West Coast will be 3 offices. So in terms of operations, it will be very much easier, and then the process will be faster. We're not going to wait for Brikama office to process 11 results, at once. So this one will have 5, the one in 5 constituencies in Funi, this one 4, and then this one 3. So it will be easier. Now, when you come to CRR.
Yes, I was coming to ask.
Yes, CRR, because of the nature of like the river, so it's divided into north and south, so it's easier. So what we've done is we've opened an office in Wasu. You understand? So Wasu will take care of the Balangas. Salums, going to Same. And then, of course, the other one from the Nyaminas to the Fuladu. So it's easier. It's easier when it comes to operations, and it is easier, yes. And then the other aspect is like, during the life cycle of elections, we've been having too many court cases, litigations, from the registration down to the elections, you know. So what we have done is like taking cue from the reports and the like. Oh, I see there's a need for a legal unit. Now we've established a legal unit.
Definitely, because past elections have been marred by allegations of voter bribery, registration fraud, and logistic failures here and there.
Now we've also looked at gender and the physically challenged, PWD. So we've also established a unit to take care of it. Because I've told you about what? Inclusivity. So we don't want to leave anyone behind. So we want everybody. And then, of course, we want to, when it comes to law, we want to be, compliant with the provisions of the Constitution, the Elections Act, the local government. And of course, when you deal with law, there is what is called the nexus of the law, the connectedness of the law. You don't just read, these are electoral laws, maybe the other laws have no bearing. No. So you read.
Yeah, by the way, you also have a legal background, right? you graduated from the bar.
Yes, I was called to the bar.
Exactly.
Yes,
So I mean, with all these ongoing reforms, I mean, one will argue, okay, in as much as no system is perfect, I mean, just like government and individuals, I mean, what will you look back at the IEC and you feel like, this is an area that I believe, needs an improvement? I mean, as someone who has been there for over 2 decades. Like I said, no system is perfect, there's always need for improvement, so. Yes,
I think we need to be very much proactive, in information dissemination. I know why I am saying this. You see, in 2007, I observed the Nigerian general elections, and I was posted at Maiduguri, and I enjoyed, the chairperson then, one Professor EU. I can remember every 4, 5, 6 hours. There's going to be a press conference, and then he gives, updates and the like. These are some of the things that, like, especially, going towards the elections, we need to do very much. And then one other innovation that we're looking at the level of the commission, like, when we come to collation, of course, with the process, like we count on the spot, and then after counting, the results are pasted, at the polling stations. Now, then these results are taken to collation centers, and then the agents, our officers, the presiding officers, the AROs are there to collate, and then from the collation center, they go to the regional, collation center, and then to the office. So one innovation we're doing is like, for instance, like if all of us sit down and do the writing, people at the back may not know what we are doing and the like. So one improvement we want to implement is like this, using laptops and projectors. You understand? So that if it's a big classroom, like I give an example, if at all it's a St. Joseph's Hall or St. Augustine's Hall, even somebody is at the back, even if you don't hear, you will see the figures being projected, so that And then, of course, election house. If election house is small, why not, we go and get, a very nice place, like maybe OIC,
Okay.
We can call it a result center where the results will be announced. You know, you have computers, you have screens there. As the results come, you tabulate them.
And
Hanga gis you know, the Wolofs will say gis really bokut. I don't know how to put that. Yes, so once you see, you cannot. So at least, you know, once things, I mean, things are transparent, you know, people are taken, you know, on board, and then periodic updates are given, you know. So both manual, and then of course we're working on our website so that we can be giving, you know, periodic, you know, as we announce the results. Why not? We can update, you know, so that people, you know, like those who want to follow online, you know, can follow. So once, you know, these things are done, I mean, I think there will be much improvement, and then once there is much improvement, you know, I'm sure the acceptance of the results will not be a problem, because people, you know, are taking on board, you know, the process, you know, because they are part of the process, you know, and the like. So, yeah.
I mean, with all these things after your appointments, I know this is a perfect opportunity for you to just to clarify and explain to some people. I mean, how do you respond, I mean, to those who feel perhaps, I mean, the timing of your appointment could somehow undermine the confidence that people tend to have in your leadership, considering, I mean, of course, I mean, the police investigation into financial dealings linked to you and other returning officers. It is reported in an audit essay that, I mean, $300 million were transferred into your personal accounts. I mean, many tend to frown at this move. I mean, just as a new chairman, and I'm sure many people watching these sort of questions might be going through their mind. I mean, could you just respond to this and just provide an explanation for the viewers who perhaps haven't heard your side of the story?
Yes, I don't think this is the right forum for me to talk about it, because as you said, it's investigation, and the investigators have submitted, you know, and we're still waiting for opinion. So I don't think it's the right forum for me to talk about it. But you know, but just to assure the people that
because it is sent to the legal judiciary for legal opinion.
Just to tell the people that we are men and women of integrity in the commission, and whatever happens, you know, like we love this country, and we've sacrificed, you know, a lot for this country, and that sacrifice we will continue, I mean, to manifest, you know, and this commission under my leadership, we promise the Gambian people that we will conduct free, fair, transparent, and inclusive, credible elections and participatory elections.
Just to clarify, was this monies for your personal use, or it was meant for expenses on the election, especially because you were the running officer in the Kanifing administrative area?
Yes.
Was it for your personal use or for election-related expenses?
It was for election. Okay. It was for election. Okay. And these monies were judiciously used, you know, for that purpose. And the retirements were made. Okay. Yes, and but just, you see, for me, there is a learning curve in everything. In life, you know, be it, you know, sometimes, you know, I have vicissitudes of life, Yeah, so there's a learning curve in everything, you know, just to assure you, because like, to prevent, you know, things like that, occurrences like that, because those monies were supposed to, they were given to us to pay staff and conduct the elections. And of course, we conducted the presidential elections, we conducted National Assembly elections, we conducted local government elections. But nonetheless, we're learning from these situations. Now, just to assure people that, like, we have started, you know, the Commission has started engaging financial institutions, maybe banks and the like, okay? So, we say, like, no returning officer will handle cash again,
Okay.
So we will contract the banks or any financial institution to do the payments. But I was in Liberia.
Yeah.
Yes, in 2023, I was there as an LTO. Sometimes you do that. Election is time bound and the like. You have to pay people on time. Otherwise, like some people said, we are not going to release the results because we've not been paid. But we will have to explain, to the election staff now.
Well, if you do, they make noise.
No, we will tell them. We will have to tell them.
It's in the media that they will pay us.
The monies were given to us to pay you directly. Now we've been. They said those monies were. We should not put up it. We don't have a problem with that. But now, financial institutions or maybe mobile wallets and the like, they will pay you. So you have to be patient. In fact, during our recruitment, we will put it, like once we agree the mode of payment and who is going to do, once that is done, when we are recruiting, we will tell the people, we will put it in the advertisements. Look, for you to apply, you must get maybe wave number or queue money or any other type of, so that at least your allowances or your payment will be done through that. Let me give you an example. You see, we've had 2 by-elections. We've had one in Masembe and then another one in Banjul. So what we've done, we've not, even the police, we asked them, we gave them check. Even in Masembe, they started asking, central bank check, but you're not going to pay us? We said no. Okay. Yeah, because we were queried, for, somebody carrying money, and then we don't want to do that again. So we just pay you, so that at least it's in the what? When the bank statements come, it will reflect there. So this time around also, when our contracts with with taxi driver, and whatever we're going to do, a financial institution will do it, and then they will just render, because everything will be in the statement. So once they give us the statement, it will be easier for us to render account. So that at least, like we will not be misconstrued that because these monies were put in our private accounts, we use them, on our private expenses rather than the elections. Yeah.
It's good you make this clarification, because I know many people watching this are kind of questions that are going through their mind, that he was one of the people who actually, had millions transferred into their personal accounts. That's why I said it's good that you clarify this thing for viewers to understand. I mean, given the fact that, the election is approaching, yes, we might say December 2026 is far, but, it's not far actually. So when do you actually plan to conduct voter registration?
Let me just take you back. You see, when we assumed office, we had already made, like our, the strategy, IEC strategy plan was already phasing out. So we put up, a document, strategy, because you have to get a direction. You have to, if you don't plan,
you are planning to fail.
That's it. So we had a strategic plan, where in that strategic plan, from the strategic plan, you can draw up your work plan. It's for 5 years. So you know exactly what to do, and when to do, and how, and who, and you understand. So we validated it together with the IPC.
That's the interparliamentary.
Yes, in the party we invited the co-chairs, and then of course CSOs through Tango, and then GPU. I know your vice president was there.
Exactly, yeah.
So we validated that, and from there, some 2 weeks ago, we had basic training on election management. We took our staff, from the A to Z of elections. So at the end of that, we have a draft electoral calendar. Okay. Because if you look at the laws, is at least we should what? Yeah. We should publish the electoral calendar 1 year, at least 1 year before the elections. So right now we've done that, but we don't just want to publish it. We want to call in the stakeholders so that we will, we will sort of validate. We will take them through, and then, we'll endorse it, and then it becomes public. We'll launch it. It becomes public. So we know, but just to give you a skeletal, a skeletal, I don't know how to call it, agenda of what is going to happen. Like, we will have a supplementary registration of voters next year, maybe early next year, I don't know when. But we will also have elections, presidential elections. And then this cycle will be a very short one. Okay. Short one in the sense that we will have, because if you look at the National Assembly is for 5 years, and then you remember, I don't know whether you remember, in 2023, there was a court judgment that the local government elections, the term of office for the mayors and councillors should be 4 years. 4 years. That's section 194E of the Constitution, I think. So now, in 2027, we'll have what? We'll have the National Assembly, and then we have the local government elections, both for the chairpersons and mayors, and then the councillors, yes. So it's going to be very short. So that's a summary of how short the electoral. We used to have 3 years. You remember 2016, 17, 18. Because we were using the Local Government Act, which says there should be 1 year between the local government election and then the National Assembly election. Yeah, but when they went to court, the ruling was, the Constitution is the supreme law. Cost effective. Yeah,
elections is quite expensive.
It's expensive, but the way the laws are, because you hold the presidential election, you conduct the presidential elections, and then the law says 4 months after, 4 months after the National Assembly elections, and then. Yeah. So it's such that in certain jurisdictions, elections are held every so like they call it general elections. So everything, like in Liberia, the local government, the you call it parliamentary, they call it representative, and then you have also the senators and the presidential. So everything in one day, because they use like ballot, ballot paper. But for us, we use the marble. Yes.
Even though some people said, at some point there were plans to move from the marbles to the ballot. I don't think that's going to work.
No, we still, because that is, that's what the law states.
In terms of building that trust with the opposition, many will say the credibility of the IEC often hinges on the confidence of all stakeholders. So in this case, how do you intend to win the trust of the opposition parties, especially those who have previously questioned IEC's, neutrality?
You see, if you work for the commission, of course, you have to, even not the commission, but for us, I just take this as a given. Okay. Even if I am going to be a polling staff, those who work in canvassing, they know me very well for that. They'll tell you, then I was vice. They say vice will always check even our because I collect all the numbers. You give me your number or you call me, I'll save it. Not because I want to call you. What I do is sometimes I look at the status of people, and then he, for him, if he sees that you are, I'll just tell you, please excuse us, because we don't want to compromise, and then we don't want people, because once people lose trust, in you, it's a big problem. So that is why I said, look, you see, everybody is a contestant. So you give them their due. Yes, you give everybody their due, and that's that. Yes, so that's it. As I said earlier on, you see, once you know what you're supposed to do, it's participatory, it's inclusive, it's consultative, you don't have much problem. you don't have much problem. As I said, we carry everybody along. Yeah,
You carry
in terms of giving out information and doing what we ought to do.
Yeah, you're talking about
all the stakeholders, you know, like once, you see, there is what is called stakeholder analysis. So once you do your analysis, you know the stakes of each stakeholder and their interests. You don't have much problem because you'll know exactly how to deal with each stakeholder. So that's the bottom line. Knowing how to deal with each stakeholder.
As chairman of the IEC, I mean, you talk about the issue of, I mean, participatory inclusivity. The diaspora, they are not going to vote because it's been removed in the election act now. Are you disappointed, or were you expecting at least, you know, to have them vote?
I'm not in the minds of, you know, the lawmakers. You know, I'm not in their mind, so I wouldn't want to say much about it. I don't know the reasons why. I mean, it was in the bill, so I don't know why it didn't go through. So I don't want to. I think they are the best to answer that question.
So how about the issue of the increment? I mean, the increment. I mean, to now register a political party, I mean, from 1 million to 2 million. If you want to contest for National Assembly elections, I mean, nomination fee $150,000 is.
You see, I think apart from the registration of a political party, you know, which is a fee.
Yeah.
You know, like people should try to understand what this is. A fee is one of you pay and then it comes to IEC. It's not refundable.
Okay.
Yeah?
2 million.
Yes, but you know, no, I'm just giving an example. Wow. But for election, it's a deposit. So people should understand. This is a deposit. So you deposit. So depending on what the law says, for presidential elections, if you have 40% of what? I'm just giving it. If you have 40% of the vote, the money is yours. Yeah, for National Assembly is about, I think, 20%. Once you have 20% of the votes cast, the money is yours, just like the local government elections. So people should distinguish, yes, it's money that you should, just like if you're bidding, you know, if you're bidding for a contract or so, you have security, you put in security and things like that. So that's that. It's just that for you to put the money in, and then once, if you win, or you withdraw, or you take back the money. Yes, you take back the money. That money does not come to IEC directly. What I mean, it comes to our account. But if, for instance, you have presidential election, you have more than 40%. You're right.
So in this case,
you right to reclaim it, and then we pay you. We refund the money to you. So,
but your wish will be to have at least one candidate get almost like 70% of the vote, so that you would.
Which wish? We are not in the minds of the people.
No, that's what I'm saying.
No, I mean, we are not in the minds of the people.
Okay, so someone has to get 40% to be able to get that deposit back. I know you'll be like, okay, I wish they would get the 40% so that at least, you know, IC can be richer.
That's the law. That's the law. So we are not in the minds of people, and we don't wish that. It's a contest. All that we want is to conduct, an environment or a contest wherein, you know, everybody will, you know, like, which will be free, fair, transparent, inclusive, and credible. So that's that. You don't have to wish. I mean, if you wish, then as if you are supporting somebody and then not supporting the other one. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we don't have wish. As a referee, I mean, any team that wins, yeah, okay with that. But if you start saying, I want these people to lose and
exactly,
then it becomes, you know, people begin to question you and say, look,
exactly,
where does your loyalty lie on the Gambian people or on one or two?
No, but at the end of the day, it's the Gambian people who decides.
Yes, so that's it. So it is the will of the people that we announce.
Yeah, but yes, I understand your point. Maybe you are not getting my point. I'm like, okay, if all these people are happen to deposit this fee at the IEC, understand?
No, deposit. You see, don't confuse fee.
Okay.
And fee and deposit. If you deposit this sum of money, yes. But for people registering political parties, it tells you
it's not refundable.
It's not refundable. You just, as you are submitting, because the law is clear. It tells you if you want to register a political party, these are the documents that you should what? You should submit. And together with this, you have to pay, a fee of this.
So now with this new act, does it mean all the political parties have to register again?
No,
or they don't?
no,
Okay.
no,
Okay.
no,
Okay.
no. No, just I give you a clue, because what happened was in 2015, when the amendment was done, what we asked them to do was we regularize, they regularized. So all the existing parties just regularized. It was just the new ones that, yeah. So yes. Okay. So and then you see, people have to read the law. Yeah, and then there's a process in making law. Yeah, the bill has been passed, but it has not yet been assented to.
It's been in Parliament for how many years? It's a process. Yeah.
It has to be assented to for it to become, So as it is now, the law is such that if they submit maybe before the law becomes the 2025 bill becomes act.
Until it is accepted by the president, it's not yet a law.
Yeah. So once they submit, they still pay the 1 million. Once they submit before that time. Okay. Yeah, there's still chance for them to pay the 1 million if they submit before this one becomes law.
There's a Ross and do.
Yeah, that is what the law is. Because if you read Section 105 of the Elections Act, it
only comes into effect.
Yeah, it will give you what to do.
Okay.
Yeah, what to do, but it tells you like if you submit, because this law is still on. Yeah. Yeah. So if you submit before that one comes into, so we will follow these provisions. Until, before.
So Mr. Chairman, like I said, elections are quite expensive. Requires a lot of money to be able to organize an election, especially national elections. Are there any logistical or funding challenges the Commission is currently facing?
You see, election is next year. Yeah. We've already, we've submitted our budget. Okay. For both the supplementary registration of voters and then the presidential election. So, and the law is clear about that. Section 44, that we submit direct to the president, he makes amendment, and then it goes to National Assembly. So we are yet to face the FPAC, to discuss that. Okay. Yeah. But over the years, government has been funding, funding the elections. Even though, yes, development partners come here and there. Okay. But, they come. Most of them, they have their interests. As I said, most of the time they come with, they come for voter education. Yeah, they don't give you the money. Yeah, communications and all those things. Yeah, but the bulk of the expenses, like the procurement of materials, payment of staff, fuel, those are the heavy. So, I think, once we get there, like as I said, once we get there and then we have some bottlenecks, obviously we will let people know where we are. And I think we have started the dialogue, with the different stakeholders, and then, as I said, the rationale behind bringing everybody on board, especially when we're presenting the electoral calendar, is to bring everybody, all the stakeholders, finance, GPPA, because we're going to do procurement and all this. Yeah. So GPPA and maybe GRA, who knows, immigration, police, because immigration during elections, the people may need visas and all those things. So we're going to bring all the stakeholders, not the political parties, CSO, media, no. This time, it's going to be inclusive. Because judiciary, of course, when it comes to, after the registration, when we have petitions and objections and we need them to supply us with the magistrates and all those things. You understand? For the revising courts. Okay. Even when we have petitions, election petitions, we need them. So that is why Ministry of Justice and all those. So we will bring Foreign Affairs, Minister of Digital Economy and all those things, broadcasting media, you know. So we'll bring all the ministries, all the agencies and all the other stakeholders, so that at least everybody will be at, you know, on the same footing.
So in the event the government delays or withholds, I mean, the funding, do you have any alternative funding plans?
No, we don't know, because it's the responsibility of government to fund elections.
Okay.
Yes, that one. Yes, maybe the development partners will come to help, but definitely it's their responsibility to fund the elections. We only hope that we will not reach to that situation. Yes, that is why, as I said, we have started consultation, and then of course with the ultimate consultation and the endorsement of the or the validation of the electoral calendar, and then the launching. So everybody will be at part. Finance will know the election is on this day and day, you know. So because everybody will be given their copy, so every stakeholder will know exactly this is what I'm supposed to do at this particular point in time. You understand? Yeah.
So I mean, will there be any new technology introduced, I mean, in the electoral process? For example, I mean, biometric verification or digitally tallying, stuff like that?
No, of course we don't have, we have biometric voter registration. Okay. Yes, so but you know, the only thing that is done after that is the matching, okay, to look at the doubles, so that, you know, like my cousins, you know, my cousins, you know, the Fullers and Series will not, they will not register twice, you know, or thrice. Yeah, but you know, like the IEC is also thinking of, you know, using digital. Even though we do the manual, so we exploring, you know, the possibility of that. So we thought about it, or we had a training during our basic electoral training. Yeah. Why? So we had possibility. So there's something that we are working on. But once it is materialized, as I said, it will be tested, and then before. And then validated before we. So,
who is the voter supplementary for?
Yes, you see, you know, like maybe there were people within country, okay, or those who traveled and came back, and then, but mostly it's the first time.
Okay, first time.
First timers. So, like the general registration of voters was held in 2021. Yeah. So up to 2025 is 4 years. Yeah. So coming to, and then like 2026 elections, you know, like because the law says you register when you even if you register in January, if you have people who turn 18 at the time of elections, for instance, the election is November, October, or December, so that will be the cutoff date. Yeah. So you register people who will be 18 on the next election. So those are the people that we really targeting. Yeah.
I mean, last month or 2 months ago, I mean, we saw a group of young people. I mean, youth wing of the United Democratic Party. I mean, they marched to your office protesting. I think they also issued a petition regarding making certain demands. I mean, how far have you gone with that petition?
The petition is we are almost done. Okay. Maybe before the end of this week or beginning of next week, we will give them a befitting response.
Do you think they had a valid demands? Or you don't?
As I say, always want to preempt me. I told you I don't want to talk about, you know, this thing on the with emoji. Now you are bringing this thing again. You want me to divulge, you know, because you know it's not nice, you know, for people to write to you, and then they come to know about, you know, their responses through the media. You know, it's not, for me, it's not very polite and respectful. So because they came, they wrote, you know, and then they handed these things to us. So it will be very nice for us to, you know, to write to them as they have written to us, rather than, you know, coming to learn of, you know, their complaints or, you know, grievances through the media. I don't think it is going to we want, as I said, we want to be respectful and then consider every stakeholder, no matter what their grievances are. We approach them politely and respectfully. So I will recuse myself from answering that, and then maybe any time we respond to them, I'm sure the responses will be made available to the media and the other stakeholders, because they copied, when they wrote to us, they copied the other entities. So we'll make sure that we copy those other people. But I think the primary responsibility of the commission is to answer them, to send them a response.
Yeah. We're running out of time, but finally, your message, to Gambians who are watching this program, also all the political actors, from the ruling party, the opposition, and everyone who's going to be involved in the upcoming cycle. What's your message to them?
Yes, my message is the IEC is poised to conduct free, fair, transparent, credible, participatory and inclusive elections. Yes, so as I said, we're managers of elections, but we want everybody, every Gambian, especially the voters, to come on board, so that at least if every stakeholder does whatever their responsibility is in the electoral process, I think we will have a very smooth electoral process. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mr. Joseph Colley, who is the new chairman of the Gambia's Independent Electoral Commission. You have something to say?
Yeah, I just want to thank you for availing the commission through me this opportunity of talking to the Gambians. I think this is my second interface with the media. Yeah, so I want to take this opportunity to thank you and thank everybody for listening or watching this program.
I'm also quite grateful, because when I called, you didn't say, well, you just said, okay, no problem, I'll get back to you, and you responded positively.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. As I said, we need to be very much proactive and interact with people. Yeah, I know I've been coming, this is my second time, but I know subsequently, our communications division will be doing most of the interactions with the media. Yeah, because you need us and we need you.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that at least we can disseminate the information that we need, so that at least, as I said, we can have a very smooth electoral process.
Indeed, we are partners, the IEC, the media, and all stakeholders in this thing. We are partners, because elections is very important for this country. It's part of our democracy, and I remember covering the nominations of the president in 2016 and, of course, 2021, and he always emphasized the importance of neutrality as far as the IEC is concerned, and then whatever the outcome is, just tell us that's the will of the Gambian people. Thank you so much, Chairman, for coming on the program. I quite appreciate your time. Basically, I didn't want to cancel this program. I'm not actually feeling that much well today, but I had to come just to make sure we have this fruitful discussion. Well, viewers, with that, we bring an end to this week's edition of your weekly State of Affairs program, and do join us next week. Until then, bye-bye from me and the entire team.